We need to supply them with better artillery, but we also, frankly, should be giving them not just helicopters, but fixed-wing aircraft that can go fast enough to take out the drones. And you don't need very sophisticated planes to do it. The Ukrainians came to see me about it. You could do it with Spitfires. We don't make Spitfires anymore. But you just need a plane that can go a few hundred miles an hour.
If you can't get even that element of escalation, what on earth is going to happen in the depths of winter where assuming if it's a cold winter in Europe where citizens are facing recession and they say, oh, why are we doing this? You know, we support Ukraine, but enough's enough. How do you keep populations in Europe on side?
Well, you come to very, very influential audiences in places like Lisbon, and you try to get your message across. Because I agree with you, it's going to be a tough one. But I happen to think that the Ukrainian resolve is being strengthened by the attack on their infrastructure. I mean, remember what happened to London in the Blitz. It didn't lead to a collapse in morale. On the contrary, morale was stiffened by the aerial bombardment.
Do you take victory or success as being removal of Russia from Crimea?
Look, you can't be more Ukrainian than the Ukrainians, right? I think that what Volodymyr Zelensky needs to achieve at the minimum in order to have talks of any kind is to get the Russians out to the pre-February the 24th borders. After that, you can have a conversation. I think ultimately there will be talks, but those talks can't begin, in my view, until the Ukrainians have restored the sovereign territory pre-February the 24th.
Now you're out of office, you can be indiscreet.
I think I was always pretty indiscreet anyway. I don't remember being applauded for my discretion whilst I was in office.
In G7s, in leaders' meetings, did you find different countries were, to quote a predecessor of your, don't go wobbly?
This thing was a huge shock, right? We were all taken, I mean, we could see the Russian battalion tactical groups massing, but different countries had very different perspectives. I mean, be in no doubt that the French were in denial right up to the last moment. The Germans, for all sorts of sound economic reasons, really didn't want it to, they were. I'll tell you a terrible thing. The German view was at one stage that if it were going to happen, which would be a disaster, then it were better for the whole thing to be over quickly and for Ukraine to fold. And I couldn't support that. I thought that was a disastrous way of looking at it. But I can understand why they thought and felt as they did. I remember the Italians, again, massively dependent on Russian hydrocarbons, at one stage simply saying, that they would be unable to support the position we were taking. But then what happened was everybody, Germans, French, Italians, everybody, Joe Biden, saw that there was simply no option because you couldn't negotiate with this guy. That's the key point. That's where the logic all breaks down when people call for a negotiated solution. There is no deal. He's not offering one. He doesn't even want one.
Which takes me to this.
And Zelensky isn't in a position to do one. His people wouldn't let him.
Ich wäre jetzt fast versucht zu sagen, auf Englisch umzuschwenken und sagen, das ist utter nonsense, was Boris Johnson da geäußert hat. Wir wissen, dass der sehr unterhaltsame frühere Premier immer ein eigenes Verhältnis zur Wahrheit hat. Das ist auch in diesem Fall nicht anders. Dass der Bundeskanzler und diese Bundesregierung mit einer jahrzehntelangen Praxis gebrochen hat in diesem Land, nämlich Waffen in Krisen- und Kriegsgebiete zu liefern. Das hat sie gemacht mit der Rede vom 27. Februar und den Entscheidungen, die sich da angeschlossen haben und in einer Art und Weise, sowohl was den Umfang als auch die Qualität anging, die es bisher so nicht gegeben hat. Und insofern, glaube ich, sprechen die Fakten gegen diese Unterstellung.